Versatile Mage. Chapter 685. The Return of the Demon Element. Are you satisfied now? Chu Jia pointed at the pile of bones and mocked them. The man was already dead. If it weren't for the wicked eye copper mirror, who would even know that he was lying in the pile of bones? Who would know how many skeletons he had killed? It was all meaningless. Everyone was watching the wicked eye copper mirror. They saw Mo Fan falling from the sky. They saw him buried under the bones. They saw the commander-level blood skeleton official approaching him. Obviously, the blood skeleton official would not let Mo Fan just fall into an eternal slumber like that. It was going to crush him into pieces with a stomp. He had asked for it after trying to fight back fiercely, yet the outcome was no different than if he had given up at the start. Running away was the only choice left for the city. They should stop wasting their time trying to leave their ridiculous spirit behind. No one would even pity their spirit. Staying alive was more practical. Even if they abandoned the civilians, at least they were still alive. It was unnecessary to follow moral principles in front of utter destruction. The pile of bones was shaking. The sound of loud footsteps came from the wicked eye copper mirror. Zhu Meng, Du Xiao, Yao Nan, Zhao Feng, Ling Shi, Han Ji, and the others did not shift the gaze. They were staring at the wicked eye copper mirror, watching the 50-meter-tall blood skeleton official stomping towards the fallen Mo Fan's location. The whole place was filled with skeletons. The only living flesh was Mo Fan. As such, his fresh blood would surely flow out from the white bones. Its red would be heartbreaking, but worth respecting. We're running out of time. Ling Shi was about to say something more when she suddenly saw the bones being hurled into the air in the wicked eye copper mirror. Inside the wicked eye copper mirror, white broken bones were scattering through the sky. The people who were watching the place from the top-down view had no clue what had just happened. They saw a huge explosion of light that dyed the sky of the space of death an eerie blood-black color. It felt like a wicked crescent had appeared in the sky, hinting at the arrival of something. "What's going on?" blurted out Zhu Meng. "No idea. It seems like some force has risen into the sky. Even the wicked eye copper mirror is shaking from the impact," said Yao Nan, whose eyes never left the scene on the mirror. The image was shaking about. When the bones finally fell to the ground like snowflakes, they barely discovered the source of the blood-black light. It had come from the location where the blood skeleton official had stomped down with its foot, where Mo Fan was buried. The wicked eye copper mirror was like an eye watching over the space of death. To everyone's surprise, the presence created by the strange glow was strong enough to leave a crack on the wicked eye copper mirror. What is that? Visible from the cracked copper mirror, an eerie figure engulfed in flames was standing in the blinding light. The thing was a human-shaped figure, yet it was wearing a robe burning with hellish flames. The blood-black tongues of fire continuously transformed into feathers drifting in the wind. The feathers were not sacred. They were covered in an evil presence, more like the feathers that had fallen from a devil's wings. Once they flew a distance, the evil fiery feathers would simply disperse in the air. The blinding glow was under the blood skeleton official's foot. The feathers were fully spread across the figure, circled by purple lightning that was flickering wildly, covering its body, shoulders, arms, and legs like chains imbued with enormous power. What just happened? What kind of monster is that? Where's Mo Fan? Why can't I see Mo Fan? The human-figured monster had long, stiff hair dangling on his back. His hands were long, with sharp claws. His arms were encapsulated by lightning chains, crackling madly. His face and body were covered in blood-black runes, which looked like they were sealing an even scarier soul within them. It would simply bring doom upon the place once it was unleashed. It feels like the thing is Mo Fan," blurted out Du Xiao in astonishment when he recalled something. Yao Nan and Du Xiao exchanged glances with one another. They were quite familiar with the appearance of this monster. In the past, they had captured a test subject that had run away from the military. "What did you just say?" "That's Mo Fan," asked the mysterious man. How can a human turn into something like that? The fiery glow rose and rammed into the blood skeleton official. The blood skeleton official did not even have the chance to land its foot when it was knocked away by a strong impact. Its 50-meter-tall body slid backward before finally coming to a stop after some time. The blood skeleton official was rotating its eyes as it stared in confusion at the human who had suddenly unleashed such enormous power. A penetrating roar rose, one that would even cause a person's soul to shiver. It was like the voice of the devils from the netherworld. The roar had come from Mo Fan's throat, from the demon that was trapped inside the human's flesh for a long time. Mo Fan vanished from his spot, together with the blinding glow that was covering him. Less than a meter away from the swaying blood skeleton official's face, weird fiery feathers appeared out of nowhere and burned into ash. A ghastly figure walked out from the gap that was burned apart by the feathers. As it clenched its fists, a long and thick bolt of lightning flashed across the sky close to the figure. The creature flung its lightning arms forward. More lightning began to spread into the surroundings with a flash, reaching a distance of over a kilometer away. The lightning bolt followed the direction the fist was thrown to. The blood skeleton official crossed its arms again to defend itself, but the damage from the lightning was far stronger than the meteorite fist. It immediately penetrated the skeleton's arms. The skull behind the arms was struck by the lightning, which pierced through it and continued another few hundred meters into the distance. The skull was blasted open. The undead crystal that was hidden inside it was broken into pieces, too. The enormous skeleton's body stiffened, and slowly fell backward. Mo Fan landed together with the falling skeleton, stepping on the skeleton official's chest with his bare feet. The scorching lightning was still circling his arms. Sharp fangs grew out from his upper jaw outside his mouth. His face was covered by runes, like a demon's mask. His pupils were spinning with different lights, looking completely alien. They had a uniquely icy and murderous aura. His chest, similarly covered in runes, was pulsing, as if an endless raging energy was about to burst out from it. Mo Fan slowly raised his hands and looked at the claws where his nails were supposed to be. He studied the runes on the back of his hands before glancing at the head and undead crystal of the blood skeleton official that he had blasted into pieces. The sixth element. So this is my sixth element, murmured Mo Fan in a deeply changed voice. He initially thought his body was already cleared of the demon blood, but it turned out that it had been hiding in his body, waiting for the day to return when he could finally awaken new elements. Chapter end. Please guys, like, comment, share, and subscribe.